And at the same time, we would like to actually state to the people out there who are viewing, to see that how Islam has literally transformed the lives of people. Not only just will, but millions and millions. Now the figure is that we're 1.6 billion. And as the comedian had stated, I think his name was Azhar Osman, he said that, Bob is not excited, he's afraid. So I think there's nothing to be afraid about. And the only ones that will be really afraid of Islam is the ones who have vested powers in order to wield corruption. Because what Islam really teaches is to get away from gambling, get away from, because the gambling industry is $1 billion industry, get away from smoking, get away from alcohol, get away from prostitution, get away from drugs. So all of those things that are multi-billion dollar industries will literally collapse if people will actually hear the message of Islam. So therefore Islam has become the number one enemy for the people who have vested powers. But it has become the fastest growing way of life because people of natural inclination that would like to actually tend towards something that is good would literally, when they would open the book of Islam, the Quran, they would find much guidance therein. But what my question to you would be, Will, is to how would you relate how your life has changed, for example, before Islam and after Islam, and how you love to actually gain knowledge, how you are actually better to your father, how you're better to your son, how are you better to your family, how are you better to the general public at large?
Yeah. Before Islam, again, I was always searching for something, but there was an inherent loneliness inside myself because of that. And I think the reason was because I always felt I never fit into the group that I was with.
Right.
I mean, the typical North American, perhaps male lifestyle of, after Friday, after work, go out with the guys, have a few beers, shoot a few games of pool, and then it's just sort of a brotherhood based on almost like a thin film of supposed happiness. Brought on perhaps by having a few beer, thinking you're having a good time, but all the while everyone's mumbling about how life is horrible, life sucks. So I didn't get my job raise, and I didn't, this isn't going well, and frivolous talk. Where I always wanted to find men that were, I would consider men that would talk about how they're guiding their children, men that are talking about, what good deeds they could do, or just simply having philosophical discussions, finding out what we can do to make lives better for some other people. And that's what I found in Islam. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding and misconception, of course, with regards to Islam. We're sitting here in a mosque, in Halifax. Some people probably think, well, what is a mosque? It's this big place that's very cold and scary because when you walk in, you have to do certain things. But it's a place. It's just a room with a carpet. You come in and you talk. The brothers are here, have a tea, just tell each other how their day went. It's just very, very, very simple. It's simple, and what I like about Islam is it just cuts down to the simplest form. Now, what's going on in the world, I believe, is a mixture of cultural and political. There's power, of course. In any population, you're going to get good, bad. You're going to get indifference, and that's no different in the Muslim community. We also have people that have diametrically opposing points of view. Some good, some bad. That happens in Christianity, it happens in Buddhism, it happens in Islam, it happens wherever you get a group of people, because we're human beings. But if you take Islam in its purest sense, and that's what I'm interested in, it's just Islam is it's to find peace by being subservient to God. Once we realize that we have a God that has created us, what else? Really, what are the important factors in life? Is it important that I wasn't able to afford my new pair of basketball shoes for the weekend, or is it important that we just spend a little extra time with our families and praying to God and that sort of thing? And Zia just took off at me and he left me here by myself, so you have to keep going now.
Jibber jabbering and we can't actually get the thing
there
going.
You go. Now we're just having a good banter discussion. You'll see two Muslims, and this is how we are as individuals. We're just normal people.